In this episode of Australians Getting Better with Age, we meet 80-year-old Heiko Schaefer. Incredibly, he didn't take up running until the age of 60 and now has a list of wonderful achievements, including age group victories in the iconic City to Surf, an Australian Masters cross-country title, and can you believe he's completed marathons on 7 continents, including Sydney, Boston, Berlin, Montevideo, Kilimanjaro, and even Antarctica. At the age of 74, the father of 2 took up the sport of duathlon. His most prized win was in Adelaide, the World Championships in 2015. And now he's aiming to be a world champion again in the Netherlands in September. Let's meet Heiko Schaefer.
I've always been into sports. As a child and as a teenager, I was soccer mad. Then I broke my leg and my ankle in 2 places, and that stopped my soccer career dead. When I came to Australia, I played a bit of soccer again, but never reached my previous heights, so to speak. Then I went to New Guinea, played a bit more soccer, coached soccer, and then I got heavily into squash. The main reason being that you could go to a squash court and play in air-conditioned comfort. In Port Moresby, that's important. So I reached quite a good level. I played pennant squash. But when you play squash, you know, you move around a lot, you crash into walls, and eventually I did both my shoulders in, you know. So I stopped playing squash. And I didn't do any running until I turned 60. My son and I did the City to Surf every year then, and we never trained properly. Maybe the night before, you know, did a training run. So when we got to Bondi, we were completely exhausted, you know. And I said to my son one year, no, we've done this a few times. How about we run a half marathon? And he said, gee, Dad, that's another 7 kilometers. And it was unimaginable. But we did the half marathon and we survived. And then, of course, the next step is a marathon. Once in a lifetime experience. And it happened to be 2000, you know, the Olympics, and they had this host city marathon, the trial marathon, you know, on the Olympic course. And we got ourselves a little book on how to train. We did the training, we did the marathon, and the night before the marathon, I had joined the Sydney Striders, which is a distance running club. Got my singlet, wore the singlet on the day, and a lot of people, spectators, you know, saying, go Striders, well done. So once you join a running club like that, you're sort of hooked, you know. There are a lot of headbangers in that, you know, running long distances. So my first training run, I went with a long distance group, 35 kilometers. And it was like running a marathon again, you know. It's completely mad. So, and from there I just went on and on, you know, just competed more and more. Won a few age group races, including City to Surf. Went to the World Athletics in Perth. Won the cross country. Came third in the marathon in the over 75, and the first time I hit the wall in a marathon. Quite an experience, you know. Yeah, and then because I had a chat with the president of the Sydney Striders, who had got into duathlons because his knees were giving out. He was a good runner, and he said to me, why don't you get into duathlons? Because you got the advantage. You're a good runner, And most of the people who do duathlons are good cyclists, but they're not good runners. And you got 2 run legs. You got the immediate advantage. So I bought a bike, never used it. It was just sitting in the garage for 4 or 5 years. And finally I heard about the Tri Club, the Central Coast Tri Club, that they had duathlons. I had a duathlon, liked it. The state championships were coming on in Penrith. Went there, won my age group, the over 70s. And I was so happy on the way back, I went into the nearest bike shop, the 99 Bikes in Artarmon, and bought myself a new bike, a new fancy bike, like I saw in the championships. And that was also the qualifying for the World Champs the following year in Adelaide. Went there, won that. Went to... No, then I thought, well, I've done it all, I don't need to do any more, I've nothing more to prove. So I didn't do anything for 2 years. Well, I didn't do any duathlons for... I kept running, I finished my 7 continents marathons. The last one was Antarctica. It was quite a thing. That came sort of by coincidence, really. I ran the Sydney Marathon, as I mentioned. I did the Canberra one, and one of my goals was the Boston one. And I qualified for Boston, did that, and I thought, well, I've done 3 on 3 different continents. Why not do 7 continents? It's an expensive business, you know, to fly there and do it. So I combined it with my yearly holiday, picked out some good scenic country, you know, the course. So I did one every year. Well, it gets harder, you have to admit that, and especially as you get out of the door, it's hard, you know. Once you warm up, it's fine. You get into a rhythm and you can enjoy yourself. You get the runner's high, you know, the feeling, and it's good. Yeah, you need more recovery. You don't run as fast, obviously. You don't run as hard. And the main thing is recovery. Don't put on weight, because that makes it even harder. And it's harder to keep your weight down as you get older. You've got less to do and more time to eat. I don't drink anymore because that's another weight gainer, you know. As long as I can do it, I'll do it. Yeah. You set yourself goals every year and you work towards those goals. You know, I'm going to do that race, or I'm going to go to that country and do that race, you know. And then you work towards it. And it has to be a quite specific goal, not just I want to get fitter, or I want to get faster. It's pretty vague and doesn't really tell you what to do, you know. The Duathlon Championships are in Amsterdam this year. I want to do 2 events, which is a sprint and the standard. The sprint is on Saturday, the standard on Sunday. So I've now started, after I've got back from my cracked rib, to do training for the sprint. And once I finish the training for the sprint, I go seamlessly into the training for the standard, and that'll take me to the event itself. I mean, you meet so many people who say, oh, I once ran, then they're 40s or 50s, can't do it anymore. That's ridiculous. Get together with some people who can help you, join a club where there are different age groups, you know. Not everybody is a fast runner, you know. People just do it for their own benefit, for their health. They compete against themselves, try to improve. Others are more competitive. And the good thing is there are age groups in competitions now. Every 5 years you move up and you run against your peers or cycle against your peers. If you're completely unfit, you have to set yourself a goal, a moderate goal, and then go in moderate steps towards it. Don't set yourself an unrealistic goal or try to reach it too quickly. If you're retired, you've got plenty of time. So everything in moderation, your diet, your training. And as you go stronger, you will know where your limits are eventually. And don't go over that. Because it only invites injuries. And enjoy it. Oh, just do it. Now don't work for Nike either.
Hope you've enjoyed this episode of Australians Getting Better with Age, and we wish the incredible Heiko Schaefer, 80 years old, all the best for the World Duathlon Championships in the Netherlands in September. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.